so through with that.
So you can also reach us at our website at womenempoweredmn.com.
Women Empowered is for every single woman. We strive to create a sisterhood. We want to create a safe space. We want to encourage and empower one another. We just want to be the sisters that you never had. So it doesn't matter your color, it doesn't matter your culture, your race. We are Women Empowered for all women.
What services do we offer? We offer quarterly events. We even have some exciting things that we haven't even put out in the works for y'all. So we got a lot to bring, a lot.
Much more. Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Living Out Loud podcast. We are going to be talking about addictions and the beauty of recovery. And I personally love this topic. I think it's amazing to actually reflect on the beauty of recovery, because a lot of people don't even realize that that's what we do in life. Like, we go through a lot of stuff and we get attached, addicted to a lot of things. And there's a process that we go through to come out of that, to put what's most important first and to recover from being dependent upon whatever that thing or person or behavior may be. So I'm excited to talk about this. Does anybody want to go first? Thinking about something that they may have found themselves addicted to, or something that they may have found maybe too deeply connected to that they shouldn't have been?
Men.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
That would be one thing I would say. Being married, I felt like I was so, I don't know, maybe just addicted to my husband. I lost myself. And when I got a divorce, I had to relearn things about me, losing friends, not knowing what I liked, what I didn't like anymore, because I was so just into it with my marriage and my family.
Yeah, I can see that. I've been there.
Yeah, I can agree with that too.
Yeah, I've been there before. It's hard because you can't really disassociate yourself with them. It's always like you and them. Well, this is what we used to do and this is what we like to do. But then it's like, well, what do I like to do? Like, what don't I like to do? Like, how do I have fun? What is fun? Like, everything changes. But to your point, I think it's beautiful when we start to discover ourselves as women and we start to see like, hey, I'm pretty dope in real life. Like, you know, I'm funny. I like to do this. I like to do that. It's like the beauty of discovering yourself, you know? It's almost like when you're a teen girl and you start to realize like, hey, I look good. I got some cute hair. I got some hips. I got, you know, people like me. I'm fun. I think that's the beautiful thing of recovering from that type of situation. At least it was for me. I'm still recovering.
I'm recovering from a lot. It's crazy because we chose the topic like, I don't know, last week or the week before, but I have found, or I had came across a Facebook post from last year today when we had the vision board party, and it listed all the things that I was recovering from and addicted to. Like, it's crazy. Like, addicted. We could be addicted to people pleasing. We could be addicted to, our issues with our parents. We could be addicted to so many different things. And when I looked at that list, I was like, this mug pretty long. But I'm going to stick to what I wanted to talk about tonight for myself. There was two different things. I had an addiction to diet pills in my early 20s. I don't talk about that very often. I want to start talking about that a little bit more because it's kind of something that I shelved and put on the shelf and just told myself that just because I was able to stop, that it's not worth talking about. But in all actuality, I think it made me channel my addiction into other areas, and that is like fitness and working out and going to the gym. So I guess that's the beauty of it, is I found an outlet, because we don't always find outlets. But it was bad, y'all. Like, first, so when it first started, they had came out with, no, I'm gonna go back to like my teens. I was always thin, and then like not thin, but I was like thin, you know. And then
You on mute?
oh, sorry. No, sorry about that. And then, you know, there was this drink, this shake drink called Slim Fast and Dynatrim. These two things was out. And I think my mom must have went to like one of those food places where you get food, the food shelf places, and they gave her, like, there was some Dynatrim in the package. And I started making Dynatrim shakes. And I was like, and I was slamming down, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay. So it started there. You know, I started to like what these products was doing to my body. Then in my 20s, I had got on Depo-Provera when I was 17, 18, whatever. Gained like 35 pounds, and wasn't happy with myself. Like, I was not happy with myself. I couldn't even, like, I was in denial about the weight I gained. And so they had these pills out called Hydroxycut. So I started taking them, started slimming down with them. I was popping 2, 4, 6 a day, going to the gym, working out. And then I saw Anna Nicole Smith on TV. And then it was Trim Spa. And I'm like, I'm going to try them too. So I started trying them. And then Metabolife. And then whatever else is next, Ally. Then all these other different things that came out. And then when I was 31, it's kind of when I was done with that. My ex-husband, one of the only things he ever did for me in my life that was actually decent, he was just like, you don't have that personality. That's my shit. That's the stuff I deal with. You starting something that you ain't got no business indulging in, and it's gonna fuck around and kill you. Okay, fair. So I threw him away, and I never touched him again, and that was in 2011. But I've always been a gym head, but I really threw myself into working out because I was like, I can't take these no more. So I convinced myself that, you know, I needed them. But at the same time, I found the beauty in exercise, and I found the beauty in learning about my body and different things, different ways to, I guess, work out, and different machines and things like that. So I definitely feel like I was able to find the beauty in something that was very traumatic, or could have been traumatic, or could have killed me. I could have died doing all that, you know, the effects and stuff from that. So I don't talk about that enough, but I wanted to share that. And then I had a lustful addiction in my 20s. Like we all do have addiction. We seem like we are on the same page with the men thing. I couldn't leave this person alone, no matter how hard I tried. Couldn't leave him alone, and couldn't leave him alone. And then it got to the point where I was wrecking everything around me. Like, I was wrecking my life. I was getting in car accidents. I had a car accident trying to drive down the street, trying to find him, figure out what he's doing, where he's going. Just all the things were happening to me. When I was able to leave that situation, though, and it was a 5-year long situation. But when I was able to walk away from that, what I found in myself was I didn't want to be a woman out here that was hurting other women, and I didn't want to be a woman out here that was cheating, because I was cheating on my ex-husband and on my daughter's father. My first ex-husband was cheating on him, and I didn't want to be that person. So I was like, well, it taught me the beauty of it, because that's what we're talking about. The beauty of it for me was that I would never be that person again. It was too exhausting. I would never be a cheater. I would never be a woman that wanted to hurt another woman or got into it with another woman about a man or anything like that. So the growth that came from it, I would say, was amazing. Like, that's just not the character or the personality that I want to have, but it was pretty bad. So I think I found beauty in both things that, when I think of addiction for myself, I think I found the beauty in what my addictions were. And I'm gonna let somebody else talk.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
And I
Thank you
love how
for
you're always
sharing.
so transparent.
Hey, look, we gotta tell the truth. Because I mean, but that diet pill thing, I never told nobody that until hey, like I don't know, a month ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember.
No, and I appreciate that too. Just always how you're so transparent, and that's true. If I think about myself, I've experienced something like that too. When you say the lustful addiction, not so much as being fixated on a person, but actually just being very promiscuous and really just wanting to have sex, if I'm being honest. When I was in my 20s to my 30s, actually, it went up almost until my 40s, until I learned where it came from and how to stop it. You know what I mean? But it is a big distraction and it robs you from your quality of life. It's just like people who indulge in porn or things like that. Like you start watching these things and you get so fixated on them. When you have a partner, you expect them to show up that way. You're like, you're not showing up like they showing up on this DVD. Like, what's happening? And it ruins your sex life. It really, really does. And it leaves you so unsatisfied because you have this facade in your mind that sex is just always immaculate and amazing, and it's not real. So the beauty in recovering from that is just, where when I learned where it stemmed from. I read a book by Juanita Bynum. I'm not sure if you all know who she is, but Juanita Bynum, she is TD Jakes's like a spiritual daughter. And she wrote a book called No More She. She actually has a sermon about it too. And it talks just about how there are sexual demons and there are spirits and things like that. And like how when we lay down with people, you pick up pieces of them. It's just like a soul tie, you pick up pieces of them. So if you lay down with somebody who is an extremely sexual person, and maybe you weren't before you did that, now you have that on you as well. Now just imagine if you're sleeping with somebody else, and then even if it's not simultaneously, it could be years apart. But if you never do the work to do the cleansing, like asking to be delivered from it and being detoxed from it, then this means you're carrying this from your 20s to your 30s to your 40s until you know how to rid yourself from it. So it was horrible. I hated it. I became very uninterested probably around the time I was like 37, 38. I went celibate because I was just like, it's just useless at this point. But it was a thing that really helped me because it allowed me to start my journey to recovery from that. And it was really nice, learning like my thought process and why I think the way I did and why I felt the way I did. Why I got those little feelings in my stomach like I did, And looking back on it today, just being able to say that I have recovered from that. I don't suffer from that anymore. I'm just regular now. And I love that for me because it was rough.
Well, we love that for you.
Thank you. It's beautiful. But it's like you say, it's addictions. People probably don't even realize that these things are even addictions though, because for some people it's such a normal thing of life. Like you were saying, like 20 some years old, hey, everybody's kind of like whatever, but
Mhm.
that's a problem. That's not okay.
It is. Yeah, it
Yes.
definitely is.
I could definitely piggyback and say I too was addicted to that. Just feeling like that was the way of the culture, right? Everybody's doing it, and once you're out there, it's like it's one of those things that, of course, if you get something good, you want you want more of something good, right? So it's like I'm chasing this imaginary thing that I don't know, who exactly it's going to come from, but I'm going to get it from somebody. And just being addicted to that, and even being addicted to attention. I'll say, um, I used to be a lot slimmer before I had kids, and even after I had my first two kids, I was still a little bit slimmer, but I had a shape. So I got a lot of attention. And, I got addicted to having that attention. I got addicted to being the one that, I could choose who I talk to when I go to a place, and being addicted to, getting asked my number and all of that. Like I got addicted to that. to the point where I didn't even realize that it was an addiction until I was no longer having it. Once I started gaining weight and I was in relationships and then I had kids, and it was like, then I wasn't getting as much attention. And I'm like, wait, so what? What is happening? So then when I did start getting attention again, I'm thinking it's, oh, this is back to, what I was getting before, but it was more of that lustful addiction that was kicking in. It wasn't necessarily the attention, it was more of me being lustful and needing this void that I had to be filled. And I did not even realize that's what it was until, you step away from that and you're like, I'm no longer in those places where it even happens like that no more. Like,
Right.
I've been in a relationship for going on 8 years. Like, I'm not even out and about and doing the things I used to do. So now when I think about it, it's like, wow, I used to be addicted to all of that lifestyle. Like,
Mm.
just the fast life, the drug dealers, the this, the that, getting cussed out. I thought that was like sexy. Like, if he don't cuss me out and call my phone back to
You don't
back,
like.
he don't love me. Yeah, and it's like, that's toxic. Like, I was
Yeah.
addicted to toxic men
Mhm.
and didn't even realize it, and it was making me be a toxic woman. It was like a thing when I was like, okay, I know I can piss him off. Hold on, let me call him. Watch, girl, he finna get mad. And I was addicted to that high of knowing that I could piss him off and he's still gonna come and give me some money and he's still gonna give me a ride and get my nails done and all these unnecessary things that really didn't mean nothing. But I thought it meant something because I'm like, girl, look, he just came and gave us a ride. I told you. He
Right.
just gave me some money. I told you, look, and he got rims, girl. Ooh. And I was addicted to that. Like, I remember bragging with my friends, like, girl, I talked to 4 dudes and all of them got rims. And I really thought I was like doing something. Wasn't
That
doing
in that
They
nothing.
got
time you
rims,
was though.
girl. They got
Wasn't doing
They got
nothing.
spinners.
Wasn't doing
Spinners.
nothing.
The
All of them
spinners,
was,
baby.
It's spinners.
Look,
listen, all of them wasn't about not a net, nothing. Listen, I'm pretty sure they all still doing the same thing right now
girl,
and
probably
ain't
in
about
jail.
nothing. Like, and that's the thing, it's so funny. Now I feel like I'm recovered from that because I can look at these people and they don't do nothing to me no more. Like, I look at them like, oh, I used to be head over heels for you.
Like, what
No,
was I
thank you.
attracted to?
I don't even want you standing by me. Please stop talking to me. Sir, can you leave me alone, please? But that's the beauty of knowing that you're different. Like, and it's just funny now that I don't know. I keep saying I'm about to be 40 because it's crazy. Like, I'm really about to be 40. Like, I'll be 40 in May. And when I think back to my 20s, I was just a mess, a
Ooh,
wreck,
ooh.
addicted to all of the things I had no business being addicted to. The fast life, the attention, the drinking. I wasn't necessarily big on like drugs and stuff like that because I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. I was more of a drinker. So I got
Mhm.
addicted to, it's the weekend, ooh, popping bottles, doing all these things irresponsibly, because at that time you don't know your limit, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. So you're just doing it and you're recklessly doing it. And not
Right.
even realizing I was risking my life so many times. Like, I think back to so many incidents and people I was dealing with. I risked my life so many times. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm like talking to y'all on this podcast right now because I could have easily been out of here like at least 40 times. At least. So I'm just thankful to be here. I'm thankful to no longer be addicted to the fast life and the unnecessary men that don't even know what YouTube and podcasts are because they on the streets and got a lick and they got this and they phone ringing and they not worried about empowering nobody.
Right. Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I got.
I feel like my like what I was addicted to is pretty much similar. Same thing, pretty much. It was really just this guy that I didn't really want to get rid of, and I knew I needed to. Yeah, I didn't really want nobody else. I was just like, I just want him.
Yep, and he probably
But
was worse.
Mhm.
Oh my god. When I say horrible. Horrible, okay? Horrible.
Being addicted to somebody or a person because they want you and her. Now that's a mess.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
don't know how to
Yeah.
walk away from you and her, so you probably don't even want them. That was what I was going through. Probably ain't
Like
even want them,
yeah,
but because he was still dealing with the two of us,
you want to
I'm
yeah,
gonna be the better choice. I'm gonna be the one. And
right.
I was
I'm
in that
gonna
what it was.
win.
Right. And I
Yeah.
was determined. But my friend asked me a
Hmm.
really deep question at that time. She said, "What's your?" Because it was so bad to where he would come to my job with one of them little side chick teddy bears. You know, them real big teddy bears.
Side
Like,
chick teddy bear.
oh baby, yes, them big teddy bears.
Oh,
That
the Valentine's Day one?
the one. I'm sorry, I missed you. It's February 15th.
Uh,
Y'all think that's just something they talk about? I was really getting February 15th gifts. Um,
I would get him on the 13th.
I would get them the 15th or the 16th and would come to my job and I would drop whatever I'm doing at work if I'm on a phone call just to run out back to the truck to whatever, you know, just to have that. It was a high, it was an adrenaline, it was a something that I can't even put my finger on saying what it is now, but it took a toll on my brain. I went to therapy. I ended up in Regions Hospital and having a nervous breakdown. I ended up losing my mind. Like I said, it was not an easy situation. That's why I said the beauty of it for me is who I am today because you couldn't have told me 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, this stuff started 2004, 5. You couldn't have told me the person I was 20 years ago and the person I am today. I would be sitting here having this conversation. Like Devin said, the most of them people don't know about no podcast, this, that, and the other. I probably wouldn't have been sitting here having this conversation either, or trying to help women or trying to steer people in the right direction because I wasn't there, but that's the beauty of that's what we do. We grow, we learn, we live and we learn. We come out of those things, those addictions, not unscathed because we have the scars and we have the pain and the trauma that are associated with those things. But I feel like even after all of what y'all just explained, just knowing y'all as individuals, it's like, dang, she's a beautiful person. Dang, she's a much better person. Like we've elevated, you know,
I
and I love that.
100% stand.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's part of like who makes us who we are today. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because even outside of like that type of stuff, like you were saying earlier, is even about like people pleasing or approval addictions or things like that. You know, I know for me, I had a real bad approval addiction. Like I needed to be approved. I needed people to approve of the things I done. I needed to be liked. I needed to be all of that. And that stuff drives you to be somebody that you're genuinely not. You're seeing what works. You're seeing what gets the applause. You're seeing what gets the attention. And that's who you become. And it may feel not even like normal. It's like I have to get outside of my real character to become this character so that I can get this thing fed within me, that people will like me, people will talk to me, people will think I'm cool. And when I let it go, is like when I really found the beauty in myself, you know? But before then, it was just like, man, you get so exhausted just trying to be a person that you're not. You never even get to fully know yourself as a person. You don't. You like so busy trying to be what you think culture wants or your family wants. Especially your family. Like you, for
Mhm.
me, I consider myself to be the black sheep of my family, you know. So it was
Right.
always like I'm trying to like prove myself to them. I was an honor roll student, you know, but still I wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
as an adolescent growing up into a teenager, now you start dating. So you don't even be yourself when you're dating. You're going to be whoever that man wants you to be because you're so used to showing up, not being your full self. You go whatever he likes. Literally, like coming to America. What kind of food do you like? Whatever kind of food you like. What kind of music you like? Whatever kind of music you like.
That is not a lie. That is
That's
not a
true.
lie.
That is so
No.
true.
You know,
I used to go to the club, right? Because the dude I was dealing with, he hated when I would go to the club, but I would go to the club. We weren't even in a relationship. I'd go to the club by myself. Everybody that tried to talk to me, I'd be like, get out my face, stop talking to me. But I would give him the illusion that I was at the club turning up, talking to everybody and any old body just for attention. Like Devin said, she said you could be addicted to attention. I was
Yep.
literally in there like, no, no, no. But he didn't know that. So I would
Mhm.
hope that he would drive out there and come out there and he
Mhm.
would. And it getting, we would get what we wanted at that, with the attention and all that. Man, I
Yep.
wish I would.
Yeah.
Looking back,
Hello.
I wish Aaliyah would.
Okay.
That's why today I do care, but I don't care. Like, accept me for who
Mhm.
I am. Like, I love who I am. I'm not. Like, if I could change myself to be a better person, to learn, to grow, something like that, then yes, I'm all for it. But as far as changing
Mhm.
myself to fit in a circle, maybe I'm a square I'm not supposed to, and I'm okay with that. I always tell people I'm not everybody cup of Kool-Aid, okay? And it's okay. I'm fine with that. But back then, I couldn't fathom it because you wanted to fit in. You wanted to be a part of what was going on. You wanted to be one of the liked people and one of the popular people. But once you start to really learn, like, to be your authentic, true self, you're most likely going to stand out, and you'll find your crowd eventually. But people who have strong personalities and who are genuinely and authentically themselves, they don't really hang with a lot of people because they're too much, and you have to water yourself down to fit. You know what I'm saying? It's like putting on a
Yeah,
shoe that's too small. You
that's
crunched
true.
up in that thing and it hurts so bad because you hurting so bad trying to fit in with people that ain't even your people. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's like, man, it's so freeing and it's so beautiful when you realize like you are uniquely and wonderfully made. You are made just the way that you're supposed to be, and you don't have to change yourself for the liking of other people. If they don't like you, that's just not your people, and it's okay. It's all right.
That's the
Yes, I
truth.
love that. Where's the heart set for that? Heart,
Oh, hold on.
heart,
we
Oh
gonna put it.
no, it's
We
not
gonna put them on there for you.
working.
heart.
Blame Devin and her new background. That's
Darn
why.
this
Like, first of all, I
background.
need to know how to do a background.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Oh, Devin will get you together.
yes,
Yeah,
she will.
you
Okay,
got
but
to
then
be
you're
on
gonna have
here
to go on
early.
live before we do
Look, you
that.
got to be on here early.
Oh my
Somebody
god.
got to get up
Mhm.
early.
It was crunch time. I did this makeup in literally like 20 minutes, not even.
See now, oh, this
And I
cat.
fed the kids. What?
Okay, super mom.
Good
Hello.
job, Janae.
I was my
Okay.
my hair. Stop telling me, y'all, please. And I ain't never got dressed that fast. I ain't never got ready that
It's
fast. How am
amazing. It's
I?
your superpower. That's your
Never.
Right.
superpower.
You ain't gonna what?
Yeah.
Who has ever? So not who has ever, but Devin also said something that triggered me too. I was. It was always me and my cousins, and I was the one who would get stopped first. That attention piece that God, it's like all that was super important. Like when I'm thinking about it right now, I want to cry because that stuff was not
Man.
important, but it was super important to go to the mall and get talked to and get like literally walk to the
Seriously.
payphone so the boy could call to
To
make sure it's
do
your number. And you like, what you doing? He like, oh, I'm about to call, make sure you gave me the right number, and then you didn't, and then you standing there looking crazy. Yeah, that was
Oh, I did it
happening.
a couple
But I,
times.
no, but I was no, that did happen. But I'm just saying it's funny. But I'm really honestly, what I mean is the attention. How when you like when she said she gained weight, I had gained all that had started to happen to me, and then that's where I started to feel like I don't know, like the depression. Like I was literally depressed by being addicted to how people felt about me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like that no more. I'm like when you think back, you like, ew.
Well,
What?
it's
Right.
crazy because honestly, like as confident as I come off, I still have moments to where I think about that. Like, dang, I used to, leave the house and get a million compliments. Five dudes would try to get my number before I ended up, finishing pumping my gas and not even like I purposely paid attention to it, but it was just something that I noticed. Like I used to get so much attention to the point where I remember we was at the mall and my mom used to work at the mall back in the day. Like anybody that knows my mom worked at the mall. Like everybody knew my mom at the mall. So it was like anytime somebody would be trying to talk to me, my mom would be like, "This is my daughter." Like cuz it was from a young age. Like, we were at the mall at 14, 15. These grown men trying to talk to me. And see at that time, me not knowing that this is a predator trying to talk to me because this is a grown
Wow.
man trying to talk to a young girl. I didn't think about it like that until I had my daughters and they were in their teenage years and then they started getting that attention. And I'm like, I know that dude and he just tried to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, not even
The same
realizing that,
dude.
yes, grown men trying to talk to my daughter. My youngest daughter is taller than me, shaped just like I was. She's gorgeous. She wears makeup and hair and all of that. So she looks a little bit older. You know, I can say she does look a little bit older. She'll be 18 in May now. So it's like it's catching up to her. But she started wearing makeup probably around 15, 16, around the same time I did, probably. But just seeing guys try to talk to her. And it was like, hold up, this is a little girl. And not even blinking an eye, like, okay, is she, can I get her number? Or like, what? She's 16. Okay, 16. They can make their own decision. Like, and just to hear people talk about stuff like that, like, and they be
Right.
dead serious. Like, it's a lot of R. Kelly's. It's a
There
lot
is.
of
Do
these
you think
people.
like us being promiscuous, right,
Mhm.
could also be because we were so overly sexualized when we were teenagers
Absolutely.
by like older men?
110.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that's one of the reasons why, you know,
I never thought about it
women
when I
are or
in in the middle of it. Of course, I
Mhm.
did not think about that. But you know, when you go back and think, like, okay, where did this stem from? Because that was my biggest thing. Like within the last year, was
right.
trying to go back and understand why I had
Mhm.
these addictions and these ways about myself. It was like, okay, where did all of this begin? It began with breaking my virginity at 14, and then, you know, experimenting and having these people that I'm dealing with, and it was like, okay, this is good. I like this. I want this. And then you have those crowds of friends who are like, girl, you should go mess with him. He's fine. He got money. And you know, you just go with the flow. Like that's what
Mhm.
everybody's doing. Like, and it is what it is. And then it's like, then when you get older and you think about it, and I'm not saying that's everybody's story, but that was my story. And it's like, you know, when you think about it now, it's like, whoa, we were really doing way too much at a young age, way too much. And
Mhm.
now, you know, there's no reason why anybody could ever say like, girl, I didn't do that, because girl, yes you did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you
Yes, you
did.
did,
and
girl.
and if you didn't do it when you
Mhm.
was young, you're doing it now. And I'm not trying to
Yeah,
be
you
like funny.
did.
I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but it's just, it's like,
Right.
I just hate when people pass judgment on people, because for one, you never know what somebody's backstory is and why they're doing something. Two, you have no idea what is really going on with this person. Like at the moment when they're doing things, like they can literally be in the middle of a depression, searching for something. Like this
Yeah.
could be saving their life because they're doing it. This is the only reason why they haven't tried to kill themselves. Like it could be a million
Yeah.
and one things of why someone is doing something. So to pass judgment on someone is like, what makes someone better than the next person? Like you sin, I sin, your sin's just different than mine.
Right.
You know, it might not be exactly the same, but we're all sinners. So it's like there's
Mhm.
no way anybody could be like, girl, girl, girl. But people do it
But they do.
unconsciously sometimes. And I've been there. I've been that kind of person before. You know, I try not to be that way now, because who am I? You know, all the things I've done. Like there's no way I could judge anybody. But you know, we still fall short sometimes with certain things, right? So it's like, I don't know. I hope to be able to help a
Mhm.
girl who was like me at a certain time in life and say, "Girl, you do not need to do that.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
important. You're loved. You don't need that." They'll be
Yes.
there. And every time I talk to somebody who maybe isn't like in the world and dealing with guys and stuff like that, they'll be there when you're done. When you're done,
Mm-hmm.
they'll still be there. Them
Right.
guys ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Yep.
And
You
it's
can
probably
take
gonna be
5
better
years
ones
Mhm.
off.
when by the time get
You can
older.
take 5 years off of dating. Them men still gonna be there.
Still gonna be there.
Literally, they not
Honestly.
going nowhere.
Amen.
No, too, that's a good point though. Like
That
like
is
you
so
said,
true.
Kevin. And like Mai said too,
Mhm.
because it's like the over sexualizing, because we grew up in the era, well, I'm an 80s baby. So when I was coming up in the 90s, that's when booty shorts was out and Luke and all that type of stuff, right? That's when
Mhm.
it really started to get popping, when people were starting really over sexualizing women. But on top of that, it was also a dynamic where there wasn't a lot of respect for women, and a lot of women didn't really love themselves, because you have parents coming out of an era that didn't know how to love you. They did the best that they knew how,
Mhm.
right? But it's like, think about how
Right.
our parents were living. So it's like, not even realizing what we're doing, looking for love in the wrong places, right? Not even like trying to be fast or trying to be grown, right? It's more so just like being a product of your environment. You're a child
Mhm.
at 14, 15, 16. You're searching for something. So I agree with that 100%, Ms. Devin. Like, I'm appreciate where we are as a people today, because our children are more educated. We have help for our mental and emotional support. So we're able to be better parents. You know what I'm saying? And we're able to pour into them and to teach them things where when we were younger, it, our parents didn't have that type of knowledge and type of
Right.
resources, So it's
Yeah.
a lot of different things that play a role in the difference
Mhm.
in generations. And I'm too grateful that I went through what I went through. I became a grandmother at 35, and I'm not ashamed about it. I had my first kid at 17, and my daughter had her first child at 17. But that just goes to show how the cycle continues. But I now have an 18-year-old daughter who's in college with no children. So as you learn and as you grow, you can put more into your children. Like, how do
Yeah.
somebody expect you to teach something to a child that you didn't know yourself? It's not
Right.
possible. But then they pass judgment. It's like, you don't know how we had to
Mhm.
grow up, or how my mama had to grow up. So who are you to pass judgment? They did the best they could with what they had.
Mhm.
And that's just like we do. We do the best we can
Yeah.
with what we have. So I just am grateful
Mhm.
to be on this side of things with my experience, to be able to help the younger generation, to be able to tell them, hey, it's different today. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have
Mhm.
to, you are, like Devin said, you are loved, you are important, you are valuable,
Right.
like you got your whole life ahead of you, and be an example. So yeah,
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
really just hit me
It's a
some type
prized
of way.
possession. Yeah. I definitely would say like your virginity is a prized possession. So like back then, I wish somebody would have like told me that.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I lost mine when I was 15, and then after I lost it, like I was very promiscuous because I just kept finding like the same type of people with different faces, like how the last conversation we had last week. It's just like you keep finding the same people, but it's just they just have different faces, and it's really hard. That's why, like, I feel like right now, learning the things that I have learned, I'm also an 80s baby as well, so knowing the things that I have learned and the things that I have gone through, I'm I shield my daughter a little bit more, and I educate her on a lot of these, or on a lot of these like topics, like such as sex and human trafficking, and like older men trying to talk to you. I remember being 13 one time, and this older guy, probably in his 40s or 50s, pulled up and was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "I'm 13." And he was like, "Oh, me too." He was like, "You should get in the car with me." And I was like, "No." I was like, "If you don't leave, I'm going to scream." And this is in broad daylight. So it was just like, ever
Me
since I was 13, because I was developed already, I've always had a shape to me too. So it was just like, dang, like I can never get away from nobody, because men is always like trying to talk to me. And, I was 13. By the time I was 15, I had lost my virginity. And I wish like I would have had, not to bash my parents, but I wish they were there, or and be a little bit more present
Yeah.
to educate me on these things. But because they are the older generation, they're from Thailand or whatever, and they didn't know much. And it was just like, we just know to work and be able to provide for our kids, and you should know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do
Hmm.
y'all feel like there's more of a light shined on the actual addiction now so that we can actually recognize what it is now to be addiction than it was back when we were growing up as kids and our own parents and the things that they were doing or may have been doing as far as addictions, because yeah, they had the rehabs and the treatment facilities and all of the things, but it wasn't, there weren't so many resources, right, that were just available like they are now, to, or even the outlet like social medias or the media talking about these things and helping people get, the help that they need to even understand that this is something that you don't need to live in, that you can go to recovery for, that you can start the process of healing through. Healing has really, over the last probably 10 years, I can say, really become something that's been readily available for all of us to be able to dig in and put our hands on.
Yeah.
Before, when you're in recovery or when you're in rehab or some kind of courses or whatever, it was frowned upon to some, or people were shameful that they had to go and clean themselves up or get themselves together. And sex, like we're talking about sex and men and all that, people would laugh off what we're talking about in the sense of saying, oh, that ain't no addiction.
Right.
You can't be addicted to nobody. What is you talking about, girl? And it's very different. So would you, I mean, in your experience, and maybe you may feel differently, but that's how I feel. I feel that we are in a place now or space now where it can be looked at for what it really is, and we can compare addiction, our recovery place, and then the beauty of it when we come out of it, because we have more tools to actually help us through it. You're going to always have an addiction, or it, like what's the saying, it can be arrested, not cured. But at
Yeah.
the same time, we have more tools now to help us persevere and move forward, is what I see.
Yeah. I agree. And I mean, we didn't trust systems. Black and brown people weren't trusting those systems back in those 70s, 80s, none of that. So even if they did have access to rehabilitations or therapists or counselors, I don't know how it was in your house, but in my house, you don't tell them folks your business. That's
Right.
just that, right? It's in the house, it stays in the house. You don't tell nobody your business. So how can they get help if they're
Don't
not
take
even, yeah. And then the systems, mind you, they still kind of,
messed up.
right? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
back then, even if you wanted to help and you got kids in your home and you go to them and say, well, mama and daddy smoking crack or mama and daddy alcoholics, what?
Or my uncle.
CPS coming in. Hello, or my uncle coming, CPS coming to
Mhm.
take your kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I absolutely agree that I think there's more trust in systems these days, but the systems have always been there. They just were not trustworthy, and they were definitely broken for brown and black people and immigrants, them too. You know what I mean? Like, we got to think about, that's what my opinion is. Like, I think the help was there, but it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
I think that if you call somebody to tell them your mama smoke crack, they come in to search your house and take your kids up out of there and gonna make you go through hell and high water to get your kids back. That's
Yeah.
what I think about the system. But yes, I'm grateful that times have changed and we can take advantage of help these days.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
I
I can
agree.
agree with that. Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Oh no, no, go ahead. I was just
Oh,
agreeing because
no,
it's so
I can
true. Like
agree with
even though
that.
I am Asian, it's the same thing too. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's part of the brown people.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
feel like, honestly, the system was already set up for us to fail in the beginning, right? So it's like sometimes when certain situations come in our lives, it's like either we're going to be a part of it, a part of the problem, or we're going to try to help the problem.
Right. The
And some
solution.
people just look at being part of the problem is just easier. It's just easier to not, to be on assistance, to be lazy, to do this, to do that, to do all the things they say
Yeah.
we're going to be the angry black woman. It's easy to do that because when we do right, we still get all these things that come against us. It's still hard. Like it's still hard to really be a black woman or a brown woman in society right now. Like honestly, it's hard. So when we think of all the things that are already set up to make us fail, and then we look at the fact that everything negative is glorified, like literally everything
Hmm.
negative is glorified. Everything, trash TV, all of that is glorified. Somebody cheating on their man or cheating on their girl, beating up these.
Physical abuse.
It's just
Hmm.
literally just, oh, did you see how such and such punched this girl in the mouth? And everybody's like, oh, I did see that. And it's like, but he's abusive and y'all are cheering him
Mm-hmm.
on. Like this should
Mm-hmm.
not be something that's celebrated, but
Mm-hmm.
yet it is. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
you could just see who's taking over this world. So it's like, do we constantly, fall into victim mind frames and say, it is what it is, this is what's going on? Or do we be the ones that stand up against everybody and say, I'm not going for this no more?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? And be the oddballs where people are like,
Yeah.
oh, so you sitting at home again? Yes, I'm sitting at home.
Mm-hmm. I love it here.
Oh, you not drinking? No, I'm not drinking. No. And not to say there's anything wrong with anybody who does that, because that's your choice. That's what you got to deal with God. That's what you got to deal with. But when it's like, you trying to be a different person and people only seen you in a certain light, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure people look at me and be like, she's women in power. Who? Because
Mm-hmm.
they know me from a different person I was. Like, that's a whole different lifestyle. So people looking at Devin like, who is Miss Devin? Miss Devin? Who is that? You talking about Coco? That's Coco was a mess. But see, people still have those ideas that they have of you. So some people don't know how to get that image and that perspective of you out of their
Mm-hmm.
mind. So when you try to talk about something serious and say, do you want to come to a prayer line? Do you want to come on this podcast? We got this event going. They're like, Coco having a prayer line?
Right.
What? She talking about God now?
Yes. The big one. Yes,
She
I'm
not
in.
she not messing with dudes no more. Like I'm pretty sure people are like waiting, hanging on the edge of their seat. Like I know Devin gonna cheat on Reggie. No, Devin not cheating on Reggie. Like,
Period.
ain't none of that going on over here. Reggie ain't cheating on Devin. No, ain't none of that. No,
We good over here.
people
Look,
know how to change and actually be
yeah.
and it's really about people just being dedicated to see like there can be changes, you can be
Mm-hmm.
a different person. It's about you actually setting yourself them goals to say, I'm no longer going to do this, I want to do this to be better,
Mm-hmm.
I want to have this, I don't want to be this type of person no more, and actually standing
Mm-hmm.
on that. That's why I've been saying this in the prayer line almost every morning. 2025 we standing on business,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and
Period.
that's God's business we talk about. Not none of them street business, none of the unnecessary negativity. We not doing none of that. We standing on God's business in
That's
2025.
right.
So
So
yeah.
I'm gonna play the advocate real quick since
Go
our
ahead.
advocate ain't here,
Yeah, she not here.
and I'm gonna say, what if they're struggling to stand on business? What if, because addiction is not an easy thing to just be like, it was for me, but that's me, but that's not the next person. So in that instance,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do?
If somebody's struggling with
Right.
staying,
Because of addiction. Whatever it is, going back to said situation, going back to uh, uh, certain relationships, maybe having a drink, because we teach recovery courses,
yes, we do.
and it's a possibility to tomorrow in our class, someone may have had something happen, and
Yeah.
so that's what I mean when I'm saying that. We have to love, remember to be caring, remember to be, to help them through that process best we can, not make people feel shunned. Not saying that we do that. I'm just saying in general, people in the world need to know, if a person is struggling with recovery, but they're at least saying that they need the help or want the help, we can't judge them, but we have to help them the best way that we can, the best way that's going to be for them, not what we think is the best, but what actually is the best for them. So, yeah, I was just wondering what y'all's thoughts were on how do we handle that situation or those situations.
Well, I
Well,
just think about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Devin.
no. Go ahead.
I don't know when I deal with people because that's kind of what I do right now. It's my professional occupation outside of women empowered. I just remember how much grace God gives me. So I don't like judge people or turn my back on them. And I understand everybody's recovery is different. Like, no two people's path to recovery is the same. So I think just giving people grace, definitely holding them accountable. Um, and just really being a person that's there to support them. It's not about what you want for their recovery. It's about what they want for their recovery, because you can want the best for somebody, but if they don't want it for themselves, because that's where your drive come from. Your drive come from, hey, I want this.
Right.
For
Mhm.
whatever the reason, I want to get my kids back. I want to be sober. I want to own my own business. Whatever, you have to have your own motivator. I can't give that to you. Um, but I think just being there, non-judgmental, supporting and not giving up. Yeah, it gets frustrating and it gets annoying because like, why do you keep like a woman keep dealing with a man that she needs? Like, why do you keep going back? Like, but you be ready. You see a call, you don't even want to answer the phone. You be like, I already know who she calling about. I'm not, but that may be the time. you know,
Maybe.
that
Maybe.
may be that
Maybe,
one
yeah.
time.
I
So that's me and my approach. And sometimes I can be a little soft, you know what I'm saying? So I do know that. But when it's time to be assertive and be like, look, I'm tired of us doing this merry-go-round. What you trying to do? And when people speak things, I think
Mhm.
it makes it more real for them. So sometimes you just gotta have them repeat it. What you trying to do? Because it don't matter what I want for you or what I see for you. What you want for yourself? What goals do you have set for yourself? So that's my approach.
yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Right.
I love that. I think you took
I
some of the
totally
things I
agree
was
with
gonna say.
that. All I can, yeah, same here. I will say I had a friend yesterday who, some people, again, everybody heals differently, right? In life. So the way of them healing is drinking and smoking a lot. So I'm just like, okay, so you do realize that this is becoming an addiction, right? So what do you think you need to do? And it's like, I know that I need to quit these things. And I'm like, okay, so how can I help you with that? Like, I'm not going to sit here again. I'm not going to sit here and judge no one. I'm not God. All I can do is sit here and be able to support you in your journey because everyone, like you said, everyone's journey is different when they are trying to heal from addiction or trauma in their life or whatever it is that they may be going through. Like with me, I realized I was in bad relationships after bad relationships after bad relationships. And I said, okay, what can I do? I became single and I said, you know what? I need to learn how to be alone in order for me to learn more about myself because I lost myself in all of these relationships. I had to get to know myself all over again because I was with these people and I'm whatever they wanted me to be, but I forgot who I was. And that's not okay. So it was like, what can I
Yeah.
do? Took a year off of dating, just me and God. And like I had said in the prayer line before, like I have never accomplished so much in my life since I became single. The things that I couldn't have done in those 6 years that I was married, I completed in like 2, 3 months.
Right.
So like everybody has their own journey, everybody has their own healing process. And all you can do is just be supportive and be here for them. And like you said, Veronica, like you could have that friend that calls all the time and it's like complaining about the same person, but it could be that one day. It's just like, okay, I'm for real, I'm done. And all you can do is just be there to support them.
I love that.
I do. I love that too.
I think it's also good to keep in mind, like when we were going through the things we went through, if we had someone, how would you want them to be there for you?
Right.
I know, like you said, everybody's journey is different. And I think a lot of times we can also tell how much pressure to apply to certain people versus kind of laying off a little bit from certain people. Um, I think sometimes if you don't know the right approach, you can make a person cling more to whatever they're addicted to. So I've also learned that too, is if you know, are pushing someone so much to say, don't drink, don't drink, don't drink, that's going to make certain people, and I'm not saying everybody, certain people, you know, that will be the, well, why you trying to push me so much? I'm finna go take a drink, you know, because you trying to control me. And it's like, well, no, I'm actually just trying to hold you accountable to what you told me you wanted me to help you with. So just being mindful of who you're helping, giving them grace as well as giving yourself grace in the process, because it's not going to be easy. You know, helping someone get over addictions is going to be hard. So, um, you know, strap up your boots and know that you're going to be taking a ride, but also give yourself grace to say if you have to lay off a little bit to allow a person to kind of process it on their own also.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Um, I'm gonna be off topic, but like my addiction is really like spending. Like, oh my goodness, y'all. When I say I can't save no money to save my life,
I'm addicted to that
like,
too.
oh, don't let me be
I was
stressed out.
gonna say
I'm
talk to
about to go
Devin.
shop. I'm about to go find something. And if like, oh my lord, like thank God I'm
Same
fasting
way.
because I'm telling you, food takes most of my money.
Yep. You got to just
Like
not spend. Man,
hard. It's
I
so
literally
hard.
have to like turn off every notification on my phone. It's been so hard. Fashion Nova been like, the items you want are short in stock. I'm like, no, no, I wanted that jacket.
Or the item you had in your cart just came back.
It's back and it's 50% off.
Back in stock.
It's
Like
75%
girl.
off. I'm
And they give you a coupon to put the
and
icing
they
on it.
deliver
Okay.
tomorrow.
Girl. Man. Then they got buy
Right.
one set, the other set free. And I'm just
Yes,
like, you know what?
exactly. And I'm like, why, God, would you tempt me with these
Like, why are you
sales?
doing this to me? Okay.
I be having to close my email so fast, like, no, no, no.
Like
Mhm.
for real. Or the text messages with the coupons in there. Like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
my
And
Lord.
Fashion Nova be like, hey girl, where you been?
Okay.
And the beauty out of that for you, Janae, is you recognize it and you are fasting.
I'm telling.
Yes.
Thank God. Like, oh, thank God for this group because Lord have mercy.
I can admit I've saved a lot of money in this past month just with fasting, because
Yes.
seriously, like I try to what I'm fasting is spending unnecessary money.
Mm.
So I literally did not realize how much unnecessary money I spend.
Mm.
You know, because you could go grocery shopping and then still go buy food. Why you going to buy food? We got
When
food
you
at
got,
home.
mhm.
Yep.
That's
That
me.
old saying we went out
Okay,
of
first of all, we do that. And second of all, there's no explanation for that. Okay.
It's unnecessary.
But see, like even when
And
I went to dinner with y'all, I usually would have bought an appetizer, I would have bought a dinner, then I would have had to bring food home. Like I literally just bought one
Yeah.
thing, one beverage, and it's like I was like sitting there like I feel weird. I feel so weird, but it's good because now I can look at my bank account and be like, okay, but I got money though, like because I'm
Mhm.
not spending
Mhm.
unnecessary money. So that I didn't realize how much addicted I was to it, because if y'all see my closet, there's no reason why I should be buying any strip of clothing for anything in any occasion. Like literally, like I told my daughter, I said if I don't see it, I think I don't have it. So if
Right.
somebody says we wearing all red today, I'm like, I gotta go buy something all red.
That's
Same.
me.
Yep.
I
And
got
I have a
I
whole
gotta
bunch
get
of it.
I gotta get the red shoes. I gotta get the red purse. Like I'm so like addicted to that.
Mhm.
Like my addiction has turned to that. Like me needing to be like, and I don't have to have all that because I already got it. So I don't even know why I'd be looking for it. Like stop looking at it, stop.
I think I shop for my kids more than anything. Like I am. Oh my God. When I say I be going to that little store, what is it called? What's that children's store they right there in Cool Rapids? No, it's in Anoka, I think. I don't know, but I want to say Children's Place, but it ain't Children's Place. I don't know what it's called, but girl, I be going to they be having plenty
When
of.
my baby was little, it was children's play, so I don't know.
There's all kinds of. Listen, with kids' clothes, you don't even want me to
I
start
didn't
talking
realize
about
I had a shopping addiction until Janae told me the other day.
that. Oh, so you addicted too?
This woman has 3 closets all
My
full and stuff. When I say, girl, you gotta see it.
So y'all not come to my house.
She got a divider with all the other stuff in there. I'm just like, you just need a bigger house.
Yeah, y'all
Mhm.
not never coming over here.
But
She got
then
some
you should see her
stuff.
orders. Her orders be like, she was like, okay, look what I just ordered from Shein. And I'm just like, okay, it's been 30 minutes and we're still looking at what you ordered from Shein. I'm like,
She's
sis,
just
like,
scrolling,
what?
and I got this, and I got this.
Yeah. I'm like, girl. I didn't really need that, but it was cute. So,
And it was on sale, right?
yes. I'm
I
like,
got
girl,
all
I
types
need
of
an
ball
outfit. I'm
gowns.
coming to your closet.
Look,
I
I got all
honestly
types
have
of ball.
shoes that I just think that it's cute, but I would
Never
never wear it.
wore.
Oh
Okay,
wow.
let's talk about something else. We're not gonna talk about that stuff. Just be in here. You don't even and all the up and down I do with my
Girl,
shape and weight. Now we got stuff I'm
me
about to be giving
too.
away.
Girl, let me tell you,
Yeah,
listen, first of all, I had a pair of jeans that was sitting in my closet. When I bought it, I couldn't fit it. But I was like, you know what? That's my motivation. Girl, why I can fit them
Mhm.
that.
jeans now?
Hey.
I had so much
Okay.
clothes to give to Courtney when she needed clothes. I gave her all the clothes and all the shoes and all the stuff because she needed it for her event. So if y'all reach out to people that are doing drives, get rid of that stuff. That's the beauty in it. Get rid of that stuff you don't need.
All
Purge
my stuff, half of it still got tags on it. So it's
some
not
of
that
it. So yep, she
I
got some
don't
stuff with
need
tags
it.
on it too.
It's
Purge
the
it.
fact that it's just there. It's waiting for certain occasions. Is what it is.
Right.
And I'm about to go on a cruise.
Oh my goodness, I'm so jelly.
I know.
I've never.
We
Yeah.
ain't gonna be thinking about y'all. I'm just playing.
No,
So you ain't gonna be on the
I'm gonna
prayer
think about
line?
y'all.
No,
It's
actually, no, we're not gonna be on the
She's
prayer
like,
line.
oh no, babe, we're on vacation today.
we have to unplug all
Yes,
the way.
yes. Veronica said we are not talking about that on the
Yeah.
cruise.
No.
We're gonna
So,
come back refreshed. We're gonna bring
yes,
some good stuff back
We're
though,
gonna have to
y'all. Some
pray
good
for
stuff.
them. That'll be
yes,
the prayer line. Pray for them.
Yes.
yes. Devin has y'all because she refused the cruise so she could buy
I
clothes.
didn't refuse it.
Oh
I
my
postponed it. Look,
So she could buy clothes.
exactly. That's what it was.
God.
My unnecessary spending prior to them booking the reason why.
She was like the Caribbean. Gonna give me some
Or
Fashion Nova.
right, or
Fashion
go
Nova.
with the
Caribbean
Walmart.
Fashion Nova.
Fashion over it is.
Right. Totally. There.
Yes.
Done.
Seriously.
My husband said to let you guys know it's not too late to book. He just said that to me. I,
How much is it?
we're not gonna do that right this second. We'll figure it out later because he will come and he will tell you right now and
You
take
let the
over.
people
Like,
Right.
We'll talk about that later. But
It'll
we
be his
are over
commercial.
time, and I don't want
We
to hold you
are.
guys up. But this
We
was
love
great.
y'all.
This
This
was
was
really good.
amazing.
I enjoyed this.
yeah.
We might have to have y'all on all the podcasts. Look,
Like she ready, okay?
y'all,
They
y'all
ready.
honorary seat fillers. Look, see.
And I also want to share. I just want to share there are people that are in recovery or you do the takeaway thing. This will be mine, and then you can go around. But
Yes. So,
when people, oh, go ahead,
oh,
go ahead.
no, I gotta say it first.
I know that's why I said I'll be quiet.
So, I just like to say this every time because it could be someone who just now tuned on. It could be somebody watching the recording. So, if there was a woman or a man or anybody who's dealing with anything and they watch our podcast right now, what would be one takeaway that you would like them to hear right now about addiction and the beauty of recovery? Um, whoever wants to go first can go
I
ahead.
do. Um, I would say you can heal from anything, any addiction. With God, you can heal with anything, and then God is the only person that can get you out of an addiction, any addiction, no matter what it is.
Yes, I love that. Who's next?
I do love that.
Oh, we thought you was going to be.
Oh, you did. I was in deep thought. Okay, I guess I'll go. I really just was thinking like, oh my. But the biggest thing about recovery is being real with yourself. Like you know what's hindering
Mhm.
you. You know what you need to do. So I think that they say step one is admitting that you're powerless. So it's
Mm.
okay to admit to God that you're powerless over something, and that's your first step to getting your power back. So that's what I would say. Be real with yourself.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Accountability, right? That's the biggest thing in a lot of people who, I mean, we all kind of lack that a little bit, but you have to take accountability. Like, what is it that's making me do this? What started it, and how can I heal from this? How can I stop it?
Mhm.
I would say for me, giving myself to God helps me with a lot of different things. I'm able to see things clearly now.
Mhm.
Just take your time. It's going to take some time to heal fully. It doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yep, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that too. That was good.
Yep.
Your healing journey won't look like anybody else's.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Your
good.
healing journey will look completely different than somebody else's. So
Yes. Yes.
the comparison, comparison is a thief of joy and everything, including in recovery and how we come through our challenges and the things that we're facing. So always remember that you can't compare your circumstance to somebody else's. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
I I would say don't be scared of what God has in store for you. A lot of people look at, giving up things is scary. Giving their life to God is scary, but it's not. It's really not. It's a lot easier than you think it is. And of course, yeah, we're all human. We're gonna have our mistakes and our slip ups. But I think when you truly know what your heart desires, God will fulfill that.
Mhm.
Endings are new beginnings. That's what I love about
Yes.
that.
I
Yes.
love that.
Start from a fresh slate. So that's all I
I love
have.
that. That was great. So, Veronica, you want to pray us out?
Why did I know that you were gonna do that?
Woohoo!
Did you know
Oh,
that for real?
because
'Cause
of Pamela.
mm,
Luckily for y'all, I'm fasting and the spirit is moving. I got y'all.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Let it move. Let it move.
Heavenly Father God, I just want to thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to just come together and just discuss your wonderful works in each and every last one of our lives, Lord God. Lord, I just pray for any woman that may be watching this right now, that they feel inspired, that they feel encouraged, Lord God, that they will call out to you for every one of their need, wants, and desires, Lord God. Lord, we thank you for recovery. We thank you for deliverance, God. We just thank you for being God, and thank you for making all things new. We just thank you for new beginnings. And God, we just thank you for keeping us. Like you knew the plans that you had for us, and they were not to harm us, but to prosper us. And now you use us to be the light for others. And we're just grateful that you chose us for a time such as this. So, God, I just pray over this podcast tonight, and I just pray that it reached the right ears, God, and that it encouraged the right people. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, dear. Love you,
You're
ladies.
welcome.
Y'all have a
Love you,
fantastic
ladies.
night.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Good
You
night.
too. Have
Don't
a great night.
don't hang up.